Hi guys, I'm Jared, and today we're talking about what's new in board gaming as of December 2nd, 2022. I'll be covering the latest news, announcements, most played games, hot new Kickstarters and crowdfunded games, and more related to board gaming for the past 2 weeks. At the end, I'll also be sharing what's going on behind the scenes with my YouTube channel, Meeple Mentor. So stick around, we've got a lot to cover. Leave me a like and comment on what kinds of updates that you want to hear more about. To make sure that you don't miss my news updates, new video tutorials, and our podcast episodes, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and your preferred streaming platform. Let's get started with some crowdfunding. The Whiskey Game is an educational, fun board game for whiskey lovers from all around the world. Each player becomes one of the legendary characters, walks across Scotland and Ireland to visit local distilleries, and creates his or her collection of the finest whiskeys. Did you visit all the areas and get 25 points? Congratulations, you've won. This deck-building adventure is for 2 to 6 players ages 18 and up and plays in 90 minutes. You can back it on GameFound until December 22nd. Also on GameFound, play as one of Earth's mighty nations in One Earth. Players compete for prosperity to ensure the survival of our planet. This politically themed game is for 1 to 5 players ages 14 and up and employs resource management and set collection. It plays in 20 to 40 minutes and you can back it until January 8th. On to Kickstarters. Cube Monster sees players vying to be the first champion to reach the top of Mount Cubia in a solo or competitive engine-building strategy game where cubes are everything. Feed the monster to awaken it for offerings. Collect colorful cubes to build structures on your player board that provide different functions. Sacrifice your cubes to climb high into risky territory as you race for the top. Cube Monster is for 1 to 4 players ages 14 and up and provides 25 minutes of playtime per player. You can back it until December 21st. Are you ready to get your heart racing? Steal, shake, and sip in the Boba Heist card game. It's a highly strategic version of BYOB, that is, bring your own boba. Players build their own boba beverage based on the ingredients on hand. Take drinks off the menu or change it entirely if you don't like what you see. But always be careful, you never know what chance has in store for you. This card game also has a poker variant that involves lying to your friends. The Boba Heist card game is funding on Kickstarter until December 1st. Become a prestigious merchant in Merchants of Karanor, a fun, immersive, and interactive board game that combines adventure and economic development. Integrate influential guilds and expand your business activities in main cities. Negotiate freely with other players or make them your competitors by use of the black market. This 2 to 6 player game incorporates trade, resource management, building, and modular player boards. It plays in 75 minutes and you can back it on Kickstarter until November 27th. What outfit would you wear to a party, outdoors, or to a cafe? Layer and create new outfits to express your style in the fashion game. Layer reversible cards with clothing patterns and shapes in either Guess the Theme, a random play, or the editor's request, a set of goals to achieve. It's for 3 to 6 players ages 10 and up and plays in 20 minutes. A second rulebook is available for 3 to 6 players ages 6 and up and plays in 15 minutes. You can back it on Kickstarter until November 30th. Gathering Gloom is a killer co-op game for 1 to 5 monsters. Worker placement and deck building are the center of this gothic horror game in which you play as the monsters. In this medium-weight game, play as a member of the Charming family, solving 14 to 16 crises that arise against you in your efforts to run your family business as peacefully as possible. Back it on Kickstarter until November 30th. Investigators, you have 48 hours to collaborate or compete to solve the Echo Ridge murder. In Tiny Epic Crimes with Red Reveal, use the Tiny Epic decoder system and win. It's a fast-paced, crime-fighting deduction game for 1 to 4 players that offers multiple ways to play. Players race around the city collecting evidence such as the murder weapon, forensics, or the getaway vehicle. In their final hour, players will stake their careers on a final guess. Who is the murderer? It's for ages 14 and up and plays in 30 minutes to an hour. Back it on Kickstarter until December 8th. We've talked about it in the news, and now it's here. Elden Ring, the board game, has finally hit Kickstarter. It's for 1 to 4 players ages 14 and up and plays in 2 hours per session. Master diceless, card-driven combat where your stamina is in your hand, and the key to victory is learning AI-driven attack patterns. You can back it until December 2nd. Create and play tons of math games with Biodo, the math game system. It's a numbered hexagonal tile-based game system. The tiles are notched to create math problems with plus, minus, and equal symbols. Arrange the tiles to add, subtract, and solve the chains of mathematical equations. The tiles also incorporate level 1 equations, allowing players to solve for x, and it's for all ages and can be played thousands of times. Back it on Kickstarter until January 6th. Fight against the cataclysmic plague and rebuild the once fallen empire in Pest, a strategic Euro game. With a unique action selection system and resource management, it's an engine-building game for 1 to 5 players. You are the leader of a great house of a fallen empire during a plague. Gather and cure sick people, rebuild fallen cities, and may the player with the most renown win. It's for ages 13 and up and plays in 60 to 150 minutes. Back it until December 17th on Kickstarter. Cute and mythical mushlings come to your aid to expand a network of mycelium in Mycelium, a mushling game. It's a 2 to 4 player race to be the first to gather 10 nutrients. Card management, resource gathering, and planning ahead are the key ingredients to victory. This game is for ages 14 and up and plays in 60 to 105 minutes. Back it on Kickstarter until December 20th. Are you ready for a modular tile-laying game for 1 to 4 players? World Stitchers has players building a new world together to impress the animal spirits. Pluck pieces of land from the sky and stitch them together. Gather energy to impress the other spirits by pulling up massive spires from the ground. In 20 to 30 minutes, if you impress the spirits enough, you might get to name the new world. It's funding on Kickstarter until December 8th. Hack innocent citizens and fight other hackers for their corporation's profit in Axon Protocol. This unique 2 to 6 player game introduces a brand new game mechanic, shared worker placement. Spend 45 to 120 minutes of playtime in this cyberpunk, brain-hacking world of corporate warfare for ages 16 and up, and you can back it on Kickstarter till December 22nd. Henchmania is back with Henchmania Squires. New edition plus expansion. Become the new bailiff with the help of your henchmen. During 4 days, game time, don't worry, players will represent lords to compete with each other with audacity and cunning in efforts to impress the king. They cannot succeed, however, without the sacrifice of their henchmen. 2 to 5 players 14 and up and can enjoy in 45 to 90 minutes of playtime. Back it on Kickstarter until December 13th. Spatial awareness and strategic ability are vital to win in Maya Chess, the game of the gods. Players utilize geometric pieces called warriors to both protect their leader piece by forming barriers and to crush the opponent's leader by stomping or rolling over it. It's for 2 players and it's funding on Kickstarter on December 21st. Explore a game about saving monkeys with Duke and Danger. It's a clever trick-taking game with a unique modular system. Different roles, such as ranger, tourist, and more, have different abilities to themselves. Rescue dukes by playing higher cards or trumps, play action cards, and adjust complexity with different danger levels. Each day forces you to adapt your strategy across 3 rounds. This 2 to 6 player game is suitable for ages 8 and up and provides a playtime of 30 minutes. It's funding on Kickstarter until December 29th. You've built empires at the table, but can you save one? Empire's End is a 2 to 4 player game for ages 13 and up. Players will enjoy resource collection and management, building, and a conflict phase that incorporates bidding. It plays in 45 to 60 minutes and is funding on Kickstarter until December 15th. Gin Crafters is a game about distilling craft gin. The players have 2 actions, with the number of actions that can be taken increasing as the game progresses. Combine botanicals that have their own unique special effects and distill to make gin. 2 to 4 players ages 20 and up can enjoy a 40-minute playtime. You can back it on Kickstarter until December 21st. Gain the presidency of the Hanseatic League through skillful trade and the expansion of the city of Lubeck in the strategic Eurogame Alderman. Make the most of your limited action points sailing the seas from city to city. Use the resource wheel on your player board to trade goods according to the city's supply and demand. This resource management game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, and plays in 100 to 180 minutes. It's funding on Kickstarter until December 22nd. Play as an artist with magic powers in a 1v1 dueling game built around effect chains. React the Arts of War as a fusion of puzzle solving, counterplay, and abstract competitive strategy. Deal 3 damage to your opponent to win in this game for ages 14 and up. It plays in 15 to 30 minutes, and it's on Kickstarter until December 28th. Raise an army of supernatural beings to haunt the islands of Japan in The Cursed Throne. It's an asymmetrical engine-building game for 1 to 5 players, featuring a modular board. The yokai, or supernatural beings, may be freed to make action stronger. Expand your influence and score points based on the hidden plot card each player has. It's for ages 12 and up and plays in 40 minutes. You can back it on Kickstarter until December 19th. SAS soldiers wage a guerrilla war deep behind enemy lines in a stealthy WW2 action game for 1 to 4 players. SAS Rogue Regiment is on Kickstarter until December 20th. Ambush convoys, assassinate high-ranking officers, destroy ammo dumps, and much, much more in your 4-man campaign against the Axis war machine. It's for ages 14 and up and plays in 1 to 2 hours. Guide your Viking heroes through frozen lands, defeat powerful enemies and opposing heroes. The hunt for the runic gems have just begun in Runar. Earn victory points by defeating powerful enemies, retrieving valuable runic gems, completing various objectives, and defeating opposing heroes. It's for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and plays in 60 to 90 minutes. Back it on Kickstarter until December 9th. Hellbringer is a solo co-op roguelike card game where you play as one of the heroes descending through the depths of hell. Highly inspired by the hack and slash genre, the game stands out from the others with its unique gameplay and mechanics. It's for 1 to 4 players ages 12 and up and plays in 45 minutes per player. Back it on Kickstarter until December 21st. Follow the path of the most famous pilots, relive their romantic adventures, and fly legendary airplanes around the world in Air Postal. Choose your pilot, plan your course, and upgrade or change your aircraft. The dice will determine the amount of fuel and endurance required to take the route you have selected. It's for 1 to 4 players ages 14 and up and plays in an hour. You can back it on Kickstarter until December 20th. Lords of Vegas Americana is on Kickstarter until December 23rd. It's a massive new expansion for the Lords of Vegas board game, plus a 6-player edition of the base set. Start out with empty lots and build small casinos and expand them as your bankroll grows. It's for 2 to 6 players, and it's funding on Kickstarter until December 23rd. Collect bug tokens to gain new special abilities and new ways of scoring in the clever game of getting your ducks in a row. Ducks in Tow, the Bugs Slugs expansion and reprint is on Kickstarter until December 16th. Complete player boards and duck cards in this game for 1 to 4 players ages 10 and up. Playtime is 30 to 60 minutes. In Goldblivion, develop a colony and a fantasy gold rush with double deck building. This competitive card game is for 1 to 4 players who race to win 10 gold bars. Using cards, build your city, lead your allies, and conquer new lands with your army. It's for ages 12 and up and plays in 20 minutes. You can back it on Kickstarter until December 21st. And Dungeons & Company, you've been hired as a dungeon contractor to build the evilest dungeon you can to protect the evil Empress's gems. Buy supplies, build your tiles, then defend them in this 2 to 4 player game for ages 12 and up. The playtime is 45 minutes, and it's funding on Kickstarter until December 29th. Lastly, in crowdfunding, 18 Cuba tells a story about railroading in Cuba. The game features 8 large companies as well as a state company, which operates with discarded trains and fixed stations on the map. Sugar plantations are represented by small companies and special tiles that produce sugar cubes, which can be picked up by the large companies with special railroad cars and add to their income by ferrying them off at a port. Although the state railway controls most of the station tokens, you can pay it off and use them for your own company. As usual in 18xx games, the wealthiest player at the end of the game is the winner. You can back it on Kickstarter until December 31st. Getting into the industry news, 3 game stores from the FLGS chain has been purchased by the Florida chain Coliseum of Comics. The operations and assets of the FLGS in Orlando will be merged with the East Colonial Coliseum of Comics store by the end of November. The Gainesville, called Gamesville Tabletop, and Jacksonville locations will be rebranded as Coliseum of Comics stores. A $200 million breakup fee has been triggered for Penguin House Random because Simon & Schuster parent Paramount Global allowed the deadline to complete a transaction with the aforementioned pass without extension. Paramount has made the executive decision to accept the payout and deny the extension that would be necessary to take the case to a higher court. The finalists for this year's Tabletop Awards has been decided. Best board game finalist frontrunners are Crescent Moon, Flamecraft, Three Sisters, and Undaunted Stalingrad. The ultimate winners of the Tabletop Awards will be revealed on stage today, December 2nd, during this year's PAX Unplugged convention in Philadelphia. As of November 25th, GAMA announced the board president Frank West has stepped down. Grace Collins will once again assume interim GAMA board president duties until GAMA holds a special election to fill the remainder of the director position's term, which runs until March 31st, 2024. A new union affiliated with the Communication Workers of America, Noble Knight Games United, and Noble Knight Games have reached a resolution in a dispute over eligible employees, and the union announced that the NLRB has scheduled the election. The union requested an election after management declined to voluntarily recognize the union upon the announcement of their existence and request for recognition less than a month ago. In his suit against SourcePoint parent Ox-Eye Media, game designer Mike Wokash was granted a default judgment. The suit was for unpaid royalties and other contract breaches, and the judgment was made because Ox-Eye did not contest or respond in another fashion to the suit. The game in question Wokash's suit revolves around is Starving Artist. Paizo Inc. announced that they have partnered with Type 40 to work on new products across multiple Paizo game lines, including Starfinder and Pathfinder. Type 40 is a prop-making group that creates high-quality in-world artifacts and props for gamers, collectors, and fans to enjoy. Product details are not yet announced. The film rights for Terraforming Mars were acquired by Cobalt Knight, a studio co-founded by Christopher Kaminsky and Christopher Knox, a narrative that highlights the game's theme and includes existential tropes. No details have been confirmed regarding the adaptation. Dungeons & Dragons has committed to no longer using the word race in any of its future material. This change has gone into effect with the most recent playtest document for 1D&D. 1D&D is the codename for the future version of the tabletop RPG. Next, let's look at newly announced games and expansions coming to retail. Up first, today we have a surprise game announcement from Starling Games, My Little Everdell. It takes the same core gameplay from Everdell and pulls it down to a straightforward and simplified version meant for faster gameplay and for families to play together. It's for 1 to 4 players and plays in about 30 minutes. In Oros, players take on roles of demigods charged with building a sacred place, move the land itself, erupt volcanoes, build shrines, or reposition followers in this game by Lucky Duck Games. It's set to release into retail in the first quarter of 2023. This game is for 1 to 4 players ages 14 and up and plays in 60 to 120 minutes. Victorian-era London is the setting for the new release from Pegasus Spiel, Swindler, a new push-your-luck game that sees players working the streets to steal from the richest moneybags. Carefully steal loot from 5 moneybags in efforts of set collection and selling. Swindler is for 2 to 4 players ages 10 and up and plays in 45 to 60 minutes. It's hitting retail this quarter. Asmodee has a few new game announcements, no surprise there. Precognition is a science fiction card game set to release into retail on December 16th. Players with the power of precognition in a post-apocalyptic world make decisions over 12 turns that allows them to have the most healthy humans by game's end. It's for 2 to 4 players ages 12 and up and plays in 60 minutes. The second announcement from Asmodee is Airmail, a route-building board game set for release into retail December 2nd, today. Players assume roles of aviation tycoons trying to establish the first airmail service in the wake of the Kelly Act. It's for 2 to 5 players ages 10 and up and plays in 30 to 75 minutes. Finally, Asmodee will also release Karen, a new party game in which players sift through real internet 1-star reviews in order to figure out which ones are real and which ones are bogus. It's for 3 to 10 players ages 14 and up and plays in 30 to 45 minutes. It's set to release into retail today. Triggs, currently available in Germany, is a card-based roll-and-write. Each turn, players either draw cards, discard a set of cards of the same value, or use their cards to cross off numbers appearing 2 to 5 times each on a sheet given to the player at the beginning of the game. The publisher has English rules available on their website. Designers Antonin Bocara, Yves Hirschfeld, along with publisher El Bulud, have announced Mysterium Kids Captain Echo's Treasure. In this cooperative children's title, each turn one player gets to be the ghost, using only a tambourine to give clues towards picking the correct revealed noise card. Players work together to try and solve the mystery before the moon travels across the sky and the night is over. This game is currently in limited release, with more coming this holiday season. Time of Empires is a real-time civilization building game where players guide their people through antiquity, the Middle Ages, and into modernity, with each age lasting exactly 9 minutes. Gameplay involves using 2 30-second sand timers to activate actions, build wonders, inspire leaders, expand cities, discover new tech, and fight wars. It should come to retail in late November. Are you a fan of the Unmatched game series? Well, Restoration Games will release a new miniatures game into retail on December 14th called Unmatched Houdini vs. the Genie. It's for 2 players ages 9 and up and plays in 30 minutes. Flux hits the road to see sights across the nation in a new US road trip themed card game. Looney Labs announced they will be releasing Across America Flux into retail on March 3rd, 2023. In addition to a host of US landmarks, it brings new twists to the rules with it. Across America Flux is for 2 to 6 players ages 8 and up and plays in 10 to 30 minutes. A new version of Carcassonne has been announced by Z-Man Games to be released into retail on January 6th. Mists Over Carcassonne is the first cooperative version of Carcassonne ever released. Players contend with the pacification of ghosts, reaching various goal times with a specific number of points scored. Players lose the game if ghosts overwhelm the board. This game is for 1 to 5 players ages 8 and up and plays in 35 minutes. Rogue blasts her way into the Marvel Champions the card game with her own hero pack. Her featured ability allows her to absorb traits from touched characters once per round. The deck also has Iceman as an ally, and event cards like Southern Cross, Bulletproof Bell, and Superpower Adaptation. Stoneblade Entertainment revealed Battle for White Fang Pass Booster Kit, the first standalone expansion for Soulforge Fusion, which will release on February 24th. This expansion features over 10,000 new cards. Assume control of forces from either North or South Vietnam and battle for control of the capital in Saigon 75. It's a new Vietnam-era strategic game by Nuts Publishing and Ares Games. Players activate their units and play event cards. Battles are decided by dice rolls, whose dual duty also determine enemy losses and unit retreats. This game is for 1 to 2 players ages 14 and up and plays in 60 minutes. Ares Games will also release 2 new game accessories for War of the Ring 2nd Edition, a deluxe game mat, and a Witch King card box into retail today. Legendary Encounters The Matrix will allow players to cooperatively take on villains from the Matrix trilogy. Characters from the Matrix that will appear in the game include Neo, Morpheus, Trinity, Niobe, Agent Smith, the Merovingian, the Twins, and the Sentinels. It should hit stores in spring next year. Siliconvania from Reavers of Midgard and Flotilla designer J.B. Howell and publisher WizKids is first and foremost a tile-laying game. Bid on tiles that give either immediate or in-game effects, then place them in a growing 4x4 city grid, or bid on specialist cards to gain new abilities. Additionally, collect an assortment of vampire and pet meeples to live in your city. After 8 rounds, the cities should be complete and are scored for diversity, a network of blood banks, and proper housing for your vampires and specialists. Siliconvania is for 2 to 5 players, features gorgeous artwork from the Miko, Mihailo Dmitrievsky, and is due out in April. Cubosaurus is a new hand management card game from Fabien Tanguy and French publisher Catch Up Games. Each turn, decide whether to play the hand you were given or pass it along to the next player. However, in order to pass your hand, you need to add a new unique card to the hand from your own collection. It's scheduled to release this quarter. The publisher behind the Castles of Burgundy, Puerto Rico, and the Quest for El Dorado is holding a contest for all those wannabe game designers out there. Starting November 15th, the public is encouraged to submit game ideas online. Ravensburger is specifically looking for family games targeting ages 7 and up, 60-minute playing time max. De Beer Games will release Savernake Forest, a new card game into retail in Q1 next year. In this game, players need to help the animals of the forest as they gather food for the coming winter. Different animal cards require different food types and can provide special abilities to help players along in the game. The game ends when each player has laid 16 cards in their forest. This game is for 2 to 4 players ages 10 and up and plays in 20 to 40 minutes. A new co-op board game will combine the tactical dungeon crawling battles of Gloomhaven with the against-the-clock energy of real-time games like Magic Maze, and the upcoming board game is currently codenamed NG6. Each player is equipped with a unique deck of cards built from basic cards and cards specific to 2 of 5 possible character classes. New to NG6 is the fact that all of its scenarios play out against a 5-minute timer, making the experience a fully real-time game. Players are able to plan before the 5-minute timer begins when their time runs out. Naylor Games hopes to launch a Kickstarter for NG6 next year, with its name and details about its world due to be revealed. The successor to the Red Cathedral, the White Castle, takes place in feudal Japan, with the centerpiece being Himeji Castle. Amass influence in the court, manage resources boldly, and place workers in the right place at the right time to gain points. Gameplay involves resource management, worker placement, and dice placement in order to execute actions. Over 3 rounds, players will send members of their clan to tend the gardens, defend the castle, or progress up the social ladder of the nobility. The White Castle is scheduled to release from publisher De Beer in October 2023. Publisher Bombix has teased a new roll-and-write version of the 2011 classic Takenoko called Takenocolor. Players roll colored pencils, each with various symbols on their flat sides. Each player grabs a colored pencil and fills in bamboo of the appropriate color on their sheet, which also has the matching symbol from the pencil. The next player gets to grab a remaining pencil, and so forth. Takenocolor should release sometime in 2023. Telecraft is a new title jointly published by Oink Games and Geo Games Engaging Toys, using their GeoFix Minis line of snap-together geometric frames. In Telecraft, one player studies a picture of a shape that needs to be assembled from a set of snap-together squares, triangles, pentagrams, and hexagons. They then have only 1 minute to verbally explain what to do, then everyone else has to assemble the structure on the card. Once one person finishes, they cover their creation with a cloth. No peeking at other players' constructions. Gain points for assembling well and for explaining well. Telecraft will begin shipping in mid-November. Master designer Paolo Mori and publisher Cosmos have announced an English version of Rustling Leaves. The title was originally released in Germany and is a roll-and-write game spanning 4 seasons. The sheet for Rustling Leaves is a 10x10 square grid of various animals and plants. It's available for purchase now. De Beer Games will release Bamboo, an abstract strategy farming game, into retail next quarter. In Bamboo, a game inspired by the setting of Bitoku, players take control of clans farming bamboo to care for their families and earn happiness points. This game is for 2 to 4 players ages 14 and up and plays in 90 to 110 minutes. Funko Games announced Five Nights at Freddy's Scare in the Box game for release into retail in January 2023. This new game features a Freddy Fazbear turned Jack in the Box, which produces eerie sound effects for players passing around the table. There are 2 ways to win the game. Players can use scare tokens to try and steal the win from the other players, or play it safe and be the last player not eliminated. Five Nights at Freddy's Scare in the Box game is for 2 to 8 players and ages 8 and up and plays in 15 minutes. Let's talk for a bit about what's happening on the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel. First, did you know we have a Patreon page? It's available for fans of the podcast and channel to pledge as a patron and support us there. There's various pledge levels for small monthly support that helps grow the channel's content. You can get access to new content early. You'll get to vote on new game tutorials that come out on the channel and more. Head to Patreon at patreon.com/meeplementor. With My Little Everdell announced today, check out my unboxing video and review posted today on the channel. We played it about 5 times. Holly and I posted a review as well for Rising Sun, one of Eric Lang's best dudes on a map game. It's themed around Japan's feudal period mixed with fantasy monsters and kaiju. I posted my off-the-shelf short recommendation video on Sushi Go, a card drafting light game for anyone. With drafting and set collection, it's a fast, easy-to-play game and worth your time. I've had a ton of new games come in the past 2 weeks, which means a lot of new unboxing videos. Avatar, The Last Airbender, Fire Nation Rising, Frostpunk, the board game, Kabuto Sumo, Bites with the expansions, Dandelions, Friday Night Legends, Loot of Lima, and the Hunger High Stakes expansion. Those plus, of course, the My Little Everdell game. Thanks for tuning in to today's news update. I appreciate your support. And remember, teach when you can, but always be learning. See you next time.